welcome back, everyone. Yes, it's an SPG replay, but please brace yourselves. Stick around. This is, well, this is going to be a bit of a combination of replay of what I'm thinking as I play this match, but also a bit of a rant about the new and buffed artillery. For those of you who are like, oh, it's an artillery sympathizer. No. This is a bit more serious than that. This particular match, literally, I've not played the Conqueror gun carrier in 6 months, and I just, for some reason, I saw it in the corner of my garage. It gathered dust, and I'm like, you know what? What the hell? We'll pull out the Conqueror gun carrier. We'll see how it goes. So here I'm loading, and there's a KV-4 spot, and I'm like, oh, good, early damage. Pew! And they nerfed this thing's shell speed, but it doesn't seem to have hindered my accuracy any. So that's nice, still 342 damage startup. Yes, I'm using all premium rounds. It's tier 10 artillery. Wouldn't you use all premium ammunition on any of the tier 10 artilleries, really? Because you're not like you're going to make money. You're not expected to make money here. So you just want as much you've always wanted as much splash as possible. You've always wanted as much penetration as possible. You've always wanted, because that maximizes chance to do damage. It's totally worth it. So now I'm lining up here because I saw a mouse coming this way, and this mouse, because he's got that big gold shiny thing next to his name, they're like, this is an important mouse. He knows how to play. We need to hurt him a little bit. So I'm waiting patiently for him, and there he is. My first shell's a bit of a disappointment. It overshoots, but I'm pretty sure it landed near a KV-4. So that shot actually did damage to someone I couldn't see, because that's what happens with artillery. Now, I'm not thrilled at the moment with my team's deployment, which is why I'm starting to move south. I've concluded that, in fact, we're going to be flanked to the north shortly, and I need not to be here. But first, the mouse. Look at this. This is disgusting. He's all angled. Other people have a hard time doing a damn thing to him. He's a mouse. He's very hard to kill. But I'm just going to sit here and patiently wait for my reload. I'm in this weird gun mode that I use occasionally when I've got a funny angle to shoot at. And I score a hit and do 448 damage. And I stun him pretty thoroughly. What's he going to do about it? He was doing everything right. He was on the back of a slope, which maximizes his protection against artillery. He was angled against everyone else. And I still slapped him for almost 450 damage. That's like 12% of his total health. It doesn't seem right somehow. It really doesn't. So now, of course, I'm retreating north. Yep, you can already see there are now red tanks showing up on the north side, where there is literally no depth whatsoever to our defense. Where I think there's only like 2 tank destroyers covering it. But because I understand this mouse is very important, I'm going to continue dialing in on him. And yes, this is another thing that's obnoxious about self-propelled guns, is that you can do this. You can just sit here and be like, I like this target. Here, have some more damage. And there is nothing you can do. You could take cover behind things. Right. Maybe if I was on a T-92. Maybe if I was in a Batchat 15558. Maybe if I was in almost any other non-British SPG. But this is the Conqueror Conqueror, aka the orbital laser cannon. Check out this neck. Look at this. There's a grill in there. You can see him hitting things. And I'm sitting here like, oh, there's a tank in there. I'm pretty sure it's that grill that was spotted. Oh, look, there's the grill. Look at this aiming circle. I lob it straight over everything. Yeah, it misses, quote unquote, by, a meter. And he takes 342 damage and sucks up a bunch of stun. This is just disgusting. This isn't just limited to the Conqueror gun carrier. I would do this kind of thing in the M53 too. Heck, I prefer the M53. It's more accurate. Has an easier time scoring direct hits. This is, in fact, the least accurate gun in the game. Have you seen me miss by very much yet? Look, it's an AMX-30. I just wait for him to expose himself just enough to make the chances that, yep, there we are, that my friend will be able to do some assistance damage. And I blap him in the head. And I keep moving. And what's he going to do about it? Well, he's going to sit there and be stunned. And he's going to have limited utility to his team. And, yeah, eventually he's just going to get him killed because there's a 257 all in his face. Alright, well, I'm getting a little worried now because there's this guy down here. He's almost within spotting range of my SPG, so of course, what do? I turn and I point my gun at him. And I patiently wait So I think I've got a clear shot. This one falls just a little bit short. I still take off almost 100 health and stun it briefly. In the middle, the mouse has fallen to our 60 TP because, well, the 60 TP is better than the ridgeline fighting. He's managed to pull the mouse into a spot where the 60 TP had the advantage. Good, good. I'm going to go right back to picking on a tier 8 medium tank because, in fact, at the moment, he is, I think, the greatest threat to my team. It's where I feel like my team has the most trouble. It's because this guy's up here spotting my team for a horde of tank destroyers in the back. It'd be much better if the tank destroyers had to come forward and spot for themselves. There we go. Wow. Oh, it's only 600 health off of a tier 8 medium tank who then dies because he can't move because I stunned and tracked him. Totally fair. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Okay, this next one's even more silly. So I'm looking, maybe the Conqueror. Now the grill's still in here. I can tell the grill is still back here because I can actually see my team shooting at the cover he's using. So I'm like, all right, yeah, there goes. But they're like, he's right back there. Okay. There he goes, running from one piece of cover to the next. I'm really hoping he'll cross this next gap here, but he actually stops. But that's okay because my shell shows up and blows basically all of his concealment away, stuns him, and does just a little bit of damage. But that's okay because now he has nowhere to hide, and he's stunned, so he can't even run that well. And so he just gets torn to bits by all the tank destroyers that were waiting for him to make a mistake or for him to suddenly not have any cover, which I provided. And just like that, what looked like a really bad losing situation, we're now up by 2 tanks. And the other team has run out of good frontline vehicles. Well, I mean, they've got 2 tier 8 mediums. Ooh, tier 8 mediums in a tier 10 game, and we still have a 257 and 2 tier 10 tank destroyers. I would not blame them for not wanting to advance. This is terrifying for them. So now I'm turning to the south, because that's the only place where anything's been spotted, like this Death Star. Hello, Death Star. But also because that's our weakest flank. All that's holding it is a T-28 prototype. So I'll throw a shell at the Death Star and miss him for 181 damage, because fair. No, it's not. Totally not fair and balanced. And I move north, because now I'm feeling like most of the pressure on my team is coming from the south, and I want to make sure I have an escape avenue. Oh, this Pantera shows up. There's their other tier 8 medium, and I'm like, oh, someone's being clever. They've got a really good hiding spot. But now I see the Tortoise has been spotted down here. I'm like, tortoises are really dangerous. There he is. Let's shoot at that. Stun it. Try and make it more vulnerable for our team, because that's what we're supposed to do in artillery, right? Oh wait, that wasn't a Tortoise. That was an S1. And that's what happens to Swedish tanks when they hold still and there's a tier 10 artillery in the game. If you're lucky, they miss you. If you're not, you're dead. So yeah, that just removed another tank from the game. We're now up to 3 tanks. So we're doing pretty good, I think. But at no point in this whole exchange have I ever really been directly threatened. Oh, I've had some close calls. I had to get kind of close to that 50-54 mod 1. Oh, it's the Death Star. Oh, but it's the Tortoise. So decision. I decided to go for the Tortoise. Simply put, I think the Tortoise is harder to kill than the Death Star for my team. So I want to make the Tortoise vulnerable. If we can all help it, to help my team out. I saw 300 damage on him, for missing. They found the other last tier 8 medium tank. There's an FE-4202 all the way back in the enemy base. Small spoiler, he ain't going to move from that base for the rest of the match. But, he's lesser concerned than the charging Tortoise. My team really needs me to do something about the Tortoise and the Death Star. And the Tortoise is being much more obliging about running someplace where he's easy to shoot at. So again, we laying it up, we wait. There he is. And we pop a shot at him. Oh, that was probably a hit. Ooh, and then he just gets nuked by 2 of my allies for another 1,000 health. So I get 1,000 assistance. Oh, there's another chunk of assistance damage. And, well, we got him, but it cost us another tank. Now there's a tier 8 Swedish medium tank running around here. One of the new Udes 14.5s. And those things don't have any armor at all, so I'm like, nom, nom, nom. Delicious. So I'm going to line up on him, because once we get rid of him, the southern flank may actually be reasonably secure. And he has to stop and aim for a while, because he's got a long aim time on that gun. He pops a shot, and I fire my round. And even though he gets out of the middle of the circle, it doesn't matter. I still end up the shell ends up RNGing right directly on his head because it's fair and balanced. And then sets him on fire, and he burns to death. What? What are they going to do about this? I'm just slowly blowing their whole team to pieces, one 230mm shell at a time. Oh, look, it's a Death Star. Like, you know, it's one of the few things here that's left that is remotely capable of taking an SPG shell to the face. He's going to disappear before I can reload. That's fine. He is a very dangerous tank. He can easily headshot any of our remaining vehicles just because most of them are in such low health. But this S1 is going to make it go, apparently. I'm trying to spot him, I'm guessing. I see the Pantera back here, but he's got almost no health. I'm like, why am I wasting a shell on that? There's a much more important target up here. Pantera can be killed by anyone. Probably by the S1. And sure enough, when he pops out a moment later, the S1 picks him off. Of course, the S1 pays for it with most of his tank. And then when he's trying to evade, he finds the Death Star the very hard way. And I fire probably my worst shot of the match right there. I really shot that in front of the Death Star. Instead, I miss him and still do 100 damage. Because artillery is fair and balanced. So our E4 is making a gallant run to try and get on the rear of the Death Star. But he gets artilleried. Their artillery is an autoloader, so he gets just stunned and tracked and immobilized. And the Death Star goes, oh, okay, well, you're stuck here. Die. I see the Waffentrager back here, and I briefly think about taking a shot at him, but I realize he'll make cover before I can get a shot off. So I see this guy hugging the wreck, and I say to myself, I think I can just loop it just over the wreck here. I'm wrong, and fall short hits the wreck, but it probably still did 100 damage because I'm an SPG. Seeing that the enemy team is now getting fairly close to the base, I decide to relocate north. There's a couple of good reasons for this. One is it sets up a crossfire, which, believe it or not, it's very important to set up crossfires in SPGs. You really want your opponents to get stuck in places where hopefully your team can shoot them from another angle. It's also nice because it means that they have to go looking for you. If you're not where they're expecting you to be, they have to look for you. And they're running out of time. Both teams, there's only 2 minutes left on this match. In this case, I'm going to go with a Waffle because the Waffle's an easy kill. I miss it. Do 100 and some odd damage to him. And then also get 520 tracking assistance damage from the final glorious shot that the 277 is able to get off before his unfortunate demise. Continue retreating north and west to get away from the base where they're expecting to find me. And it's really just me and the Stritzvong right now. And there's a tier 9 and a tier 10 tank destroyer advancing up the middle, but they're both low health. So I'm about to load, and I see that the Death Star is being spotted. I spin to put the gun on target and start aiming in some distance ahead of him. He disappears, but the reticule's small enough I feel it's worth the risk. And, well, Death Star down. There's now a 41 health Waffentrager Panzer IV facing off with our Stritzvong. I'm pretty sure the Stritzvong is in fact a one-shot for him, and frankly I'm a one-shot for him, but then he's a one-shot for both of us because he's got double-digit health. So now that I've gotten to here, I say, okay, I'm probably pretty safe here. Or safe as I'm going to be at this point in the match. I'm going to line up a shot and hope that the Death Star, not the Death Star, Death Star's dead. The Waffentrager does something silly as we tick down the final seconds of this match. But with this many enemy tanks still alive, and with the super defensive Stritzwagen and my lumbering artillery being all that's left, it's pretty clear that this one's going to be a draw. Why was it a draw? Well, I think you'll see when we get to the personal stats of the post-game screen. It's pretty stupid. But yeah, SPGs as a class are just increasingly think they're not fair. Because they can do this sort of shit. Let's take a look at the post-game stats. Well, first of all, look, hate mail. This is another thing artillery tends to attract. Hate mail, particularly if you do well in artillery. People get very, very upset at you for knowing how to shoot. But in reality, that wasn't hard. I mean, that was remarkably easy to get that high-caliber Gores Confederate in a Tier 10 game that involved mostly Tier 8s. Remarkably easy. Sure, relatively small number of kills, but whatever. You don't play artillery to kill things. You play artillery to make it easier for your team to kill things. If you take a look at the personal stats, though, it gets even more outrageous because I'm second in the team in XP, and I'm first by damage by a lot. 5,916 damage after the artillery nerfs. In the most inaccurate artillery in the game, matter of fact, with the most inaccurate gun in the game. 5,912 damage. It's just not right. If you take a look at the personal stats here, fired 18 shots, 17 of them splashed something. 7 of them scored direct hits, one of which penned that poor unfortunate S1. I also got 2,500 assistance damage between tracking and stunning. So I was directly and indirectly responsible for almost 8,500 damage from my team. It's ridiculous. I hope you enjoyed watching that. And I really hope that board gaming can find a way to keep arty enjoyable while keeping them from just wrecking games like this. Good game.